It really seems to me that school funding has been in a state of absolute chaos lately in Washington, and this latest proposal throws yet another wrench in the whole thing. So to really understand what in the world is going on lately, let's take this chronologically. We're going to go back to 2012.
6 years ago, the Washington State Supreme Court said that the state government was failing its #1 duty, to pay for basic education. Fast forward to 2017, and the state has finally found a way to comply with that ruling and pay for schools. They increased the statewide property tax by 91 cents. But in that process, they also told school districts they had to cap the amount of local property taxes they charged. They put the cap at $1.50 per $1,000 of property value. That means someone with a house worth $100,000 would pay $150 per year. But in Spokane, the rate used to be $4, so they have to cut back dramatically now. And even with that extra state money, the district is going to lose some revenue. So today, State School Superintendent Chris Rakedahl proposed to change that. Rather than creating a $1.50 flat cap, his budget would cap levies at 22% of state and federal revenues. That means take however much money the district gets from the state and the feds. Take roughly a quarter of that, and that's how much the district can ask for in levies. So how does all of this affect those bond measures coming up in November? It doesn't. A bond is something completely different, not covered by any of this. This stuff only talks about levies. Levies are property taxes used to pay for extra school programs. The thing on the ballot is a bond. That's a property tax too, but it's separate. Bonds are used to pay for buildings and equipment. Okay, so what else is Rakedahl proposing? Well, he wants to create a new tax, a capital gains tax. That's a tax on the money you make from investments like stocks. It would affect people who make more than $25,000 off those investments. That money would do two things. One, pay for more special education. Another thing McCleary said the state needs to do better. Two, replace some of that statewide property tax we mentioned earlier.
Okay, so it's also important to remember this is just a proposal, and even if it does become a reality, the exact impact on district budgets kind of remains to be seen. But one more time, here are the three main takeaways from all this. One, it could let local voters pass bigger levies. Two, it would create a capital gains tax. And three, none of this affects the bond measure at all. Mark, Whitney?